Hello and welcome everybody. I'm back in the studio today with another one of our incredible certified trainers to dig deep in how they've used the success principles to create something pretty astounding in the results in their life. And for over 40 years, I've devoted my life to helping people create lives of greater joy and fulfillment based on their definition of success. And through my books, my workshops, and my digital programs, I've empowered literally millions of people to live their highest vision and have trained and certified more than 2,900 students to teach my proven principles and success methodology in 107 countries around the world now. And today I'm here with Kristi Staab, who is one of our master certified trainers, as well as an executive coach, a consultant, and speaker and chief rock star. Kristi Staab partners with individuals, with teams, and organizations around the globe to achieve ordinary and extraordinary, I should say, results by building high-performing, values-driven leaders and organizational cultures. Welcome to the studio, Kristi.
Jack, it is absolutely positively my pleasure to be here with you today.
Now, when I introduce someone and say rock star is part of their introduction, let's unpack that real quick. How did that come about?
You know, I had a corporate background before I met you.
Right.
And in that corporate background, I did music, sports, and entertainment. And my friends called me rock star because I had such a great career and got to do things that as a child I couldn't even have dreamt they were possible. And yet something deep inside of me, even though others saw this rock star lifestyle, was really empty. And eventually it led me to you in 2005 when I was driving down the street and I heard a gentleman on the radio say how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And my life has changed probably tenfold as a result of the work that you bring to the world. And I very much thank you for that and appreciate you.
And that's how we met. Was you listening to the radio?
Well, that was my first breakthrough moment with Jack
And then
Canfield.
what happened?
And then, 2007, I heard you were coming to Scottsdale, 2.5 miles from my house. And I called Jesse, one of your team members who's been with you forever. And I said, tell me about this guy, Jack Canfield. I've seen him in The Secret. I've read the book. Is he actually going to be there? And she said, absolutely. After 45 minutes, she convinced me I should be there with you. And from the moment I met you, things changed. I think I've gone through, Jack, every program you've provided over the last 16 years. And I'll never forget the moment I was in your Platinum Mastermind group. And in the very first 15 minutes, you looked at me. You had no idea who I was, didn't know my name. And you looked at me and you said, you need to go into work on Monday. You need to resign and you need to start your own business and do this work. Since I met you, I found the love of my life. I've started my own business. I got my executive MBA, and now I get to take the work that literally changed and evolved my life to the world as well. And I can't say enough about you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Now, let's talk about that. You said it changed my life.
Changed my life.
And you got a copy of my book, The Success Principles. There's 64 principles in the first copy you got. There's 67
Correct.
now in the 10th revised edition. So what principle of all the principles, if you look at all that, stood out for you or had the most impact in your life? I'm curious.
Hands down, principle number 1, take 100% responsibility, period.
Period. Well, thanks for the interview. No, seriously, talk a little more about it. How did that change your life?
Well, I should tell you that when I walked into BTS that first day and I looked up on the screen and I saw a formula, I thought, are you kidding me? I'm going to have to learn math in a personal development session. It was E plus R equals O, and event plus response equals outcome. And I remember there were just so many things in my life that really, I think, were prompted by limiting beliefs, right? And there was some girlfriends I had, and I was jealous of what they had in their life. And I thought, boy, I have to work so hard, and I've been dealt this deck of cards that's my life. And how do I live a life like other people? And when I got introduced to E plus R equals O, I was looking outside of myself for the answers. And when I really understood what it meant to take 100% responsibility for my life and every decision I make, the thoughts, my beliefs, my behaviors, it was a game changer. And I think out of all of the principles that you have, this is the one principle that activates and makes every other principle possible.
Well, that's why it's the first principle in the book. It is literally chapter 1. And now you teach this, I assume, in your work.
I do, absolutely.
Talk about that a little bit.
You know, I've loved the principle since I was introduced to it in 2005. The last 20 months, having gone through a pandemic, social justice, as you and I sit here now, we're in the middle of what was the 2020 election, what will be the 2022 election, and then people who've never done better economically and people who've never done worse economically. And I have taught E+R=O over the last 18 months in every single thing I do. Sharing with people the freedom behind the principle. When we're so busy blaming other people, the government, our spouses, our children, people that we work with, we are giving away all of our power. And in a time when I tell everybody, take control of your life. If you don't like the circumstances that you're living in, take back your control. E+R=O does that. And so I've used this and really framed it up in a way for myself as I teach. This is so fundamentally important now more than I think it's ever been.
True. I think, part of that chapter of the book and part of 100% responsibility is no blaming, no complaining, no excuse making. And when the pandemic occurred, all of a sudden that was the E. Everyone had to deal with it. And depending on your response, if you got into fear, if you started scaring yourself on everything's going to go to heck and I'm not going to be able to make a living and people are going to die and my business is going to close and all that kind of stuff, then everyone got into fear. All the energy went back to the amygdala. It's not in the prefrontal cortex. You can't make rational decisions. You can't be creative. It was a big deal. And I think that a lot of people think it's somehow that thing is what was causing my experience, where it's just an event. And other people decide, okay, it's an event. I have a lot of responses. I can think different thoughts. I can do different behaviors. And as you said, some people have gotten wealthier during the pandemic. Some people have gotten poorer. And it wasn't it's all the same pandemic for everybody, And then we can look at anything, the economy, who's in charge, the government, whether it's Trump or Biden or whoever it's going to be next. And the reality is that most of what affects our life is not what those people do anyway. It's really up to us. We have to be the person guiding the ship through the waters. It's the tiller that we're in charge of. Yeah, it's so critical, so critical.
And I think too, that's where the freedom comes from.
Yes.
I don't want to wait for whomever is president to decide my fate. It's I get to go out today and do what I want to do in order to shift my business. My business on March 15th of 2020, boom, the business the way I knew it ended.
Me too.
I got to, we got to rediscover ourselves. We got to say, this is the work we do. How do we reach the people who need it now more than ever? And literally flip how we did our businesses and become even better at what we were doing, or we could have become lazy and gone out of business. Right? So that's just one little ebb and flow. And then too, Jack, I wrote so many times on the whiteboard, E+R=O. We're in control of our thoughts, our beliefs, the images that we hold in our head, our actions and our behaviors. And there would be times when I'd literally just look at the Zoom camera and say, you know what? It's pretty easy. You're either coming from a place of love or you're coming from a place of fear. And when you can figure out love and fear, you go back to your R in the E+R=O. Are you responding in love or are you reacting to fear?
I totally agree. This is good. I love it. You are a walking billboard for 100% responsibility. A lot of people don't want to take 100% responsibility because they think it's going to trap them somehow, going to burden them with guilt and all that kind of stuff. And the truth is actually the opposite of that. It creates greater freedom, but you have to do it to experience it. So thank you for coming here today and sharing us. Any final thoughts that, we have this space. We don't want you to walk out of here and go, oh, I wish I'd said that.
I would say the empowerment. that comes from E plus R equals O. Because when we do start blaming people, shaming ourselves, justifying, complaining, all of that, it takes our own energy level down. We disempower ourselves. Right. And when we choose, and it's a choice, and you can choose to do something or nothing, and even in that choice, you're still doing something, right? Yeah. When we can empower ourselves for the solutions, we not only can improve our lives, but we can act as a catalyst, a nudge, by modeling excellence consistently to show other people what's possible. Yeah. And that's lifting ourselves to be at our best and lifting those around us to be at their best. So empowering others along the way.
Become a lighthouse in the darkness.
Absolutely.
Very good.
A lighthouse in the darkness.
There you go. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now that you've learned a little about Chief Rock Star Kristi Staab and a principle that really changed her life, I'd like to learn more about you and what your favorite success principle is and why. So all you have to do is record a short video explaining why one of my success principles has transformed your life and why and how it did that. And post that video on your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook account using the hashtag favorite success principle so we can find your video and feature it on one of my channels. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Well, now that you've learned a little bit about Chief Rock Star Kristi Staab, I'd like to learn more about you and what your favorite success principle is and why. So I invite you to record a short video explaining which one of my success principles has impacted your life the most and why it has and how it has. And then go ahead and post that video either on Instagram, Twitter, or here on Facebook using the hashtag favorite success principle so we can find your video and feature it. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like it and subscribe. Keep coming back to our Facebook groups and you're gonna find out more and hear from more people like Kristi today. So thanks again for watching. And remember, nothing in your life will change until you change something in here. All right, see you later, guys. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you like it, share it with a friend who may need it, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. And for additional tools and videos on how to overcome your obstacles and thrive in life, check out the resource page at JackCanfield.com. There's a ton of great free resources there. And thanks again for watching and have a great day.